Hi, everybody. This is Yeehaw Bob Jackson from Port Orleans Riverside at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. And you're listening to the Communicore Weekly.
Communicore Weekly. Wanna get geeky with five around boats and five-legged goats. Communicore Weekly. You might catch some freaking. You waited all week. I'm sure you already know that it's the greatest online show.
Hello and welcome to Communicore Weekly. I'm George.
And I'm Jeff. I think I can.
Step, jump, and skip. We took a trip, and this is our trip
We'd like to welcome Chris Wood from EverythingWDisneyWorld.com. She recently spent a few days at Walt Disney World. And Jeff, did you want to say anything about that?
I'm a little bit jealous, but what am I gonna do?
Yeah, just don't be a hater. And we wanted to bring her on to discuss the brand new Casey Jr. Splash and Soak Station and get her ideas and see what she thinks about it. So Chris, tell us a little bit about the Casey Jr. Splash and Soak Station.
Well, if you've seen the pictures, I don't think you can really get a good idea of how large it is. It's actually much bigger than it looks in all the pictures. It's
bigger
pretty
on the
huge.
inside?
Well, there's, it's a big circular area, and there's steps going down to it on one side, and then on the other side, if you've been there already and you know where the bathrooms are,
We know where the bathrooms are.
Yeah, I mean, George, it's about 15 feet from the entrance of those bathrooms. So, and at one point, between there's like a cart where they're selling towels and flip-flops. How clever of them.
So that's clever marketing for them. Good
It's really
thinking,
actually
Disney.
very smart, right? For those parents who forgot to bring, Crocs or whatever. But anyway,
or didn't know.
yeah. Oh, yeah. It's true. So it's a big round area, and there's like a little circus train, and there are giraffes and other animals that squirt water at the kids, and then of course there's the little train at the front. It's really well done. Artistically, it's beautiful, but as far as what it does for the kids, I mean, we were there several times, and no matter what time of the day, and at one point we were there at about 10 o'clock at night, kids were playing in the water. Wow. And if you remember the old, boat, Donald's boat, where they had that really lame water play area, this is nothing like that. This is the kind of place where if you're within 10 feet of it, you're going to get splashed yourself. So parents should just be prepared, bring, a change of clothes, definitely bring shoes that they can, wear when they're wet, like Crocs or flip-flops or something. And it's fantastic. And I know a lot of people were actually complaining about the
gate around it?
Yeah. It
I
really
was going to
doesn't
ask you about that.
It doesn't look that bad in person.
Oh, that's good. So it doesn't really take away from the aesthetic feel of the train?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe a tiny bit, but it's probably necessary.
Well, I know when we were there earlier for the Casey Jr. soft opening, or when they first debuted it, everything looked beautiful and fantastic, and it was overwhelming how good it looked. So I'm assuming this continued that same general feel.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you remember also, when we were there the last time, they didn't have that that stroller parking area with all the stonework and everything. That's even well done. And everything over there looks great. So hopefully it'll continue to look good when they open everything else up.
Oh, I think it will. So do you think this is going to change the way people do the Magic Kingdom now, since they've got this gigantic wet area? It's like a kid magnet.
Well, I think a lot of parents are going to hate it. If you make a good point earlier on that if you don't go in prepared, you're either going to be that person buying the flip-flops and the little outfit and everything and the towels, or you're going to be hating life. So it's going to be hard to get kids out of there. They were so happy.
It's going to be hard to get me out of there.
I know. I actually did see adults in there. I saw some adults playing in there, some teenagers and stuff. So.
Well, do you think is it a difficult place to have your kids running around, or do you feel like it was pretty safe? There were many ways for them to exit, I guess is what I'm asking.
I guess there's really only two at this point. There's really only two sides because they have the wall on the other side protecting what's going on the other side. So, in Fantasyland expansion, it wasn't too bad. You definitely have to keep a close eye on them.
Okay, and I know you got to take a peek inside the new Dumbo queue. Any
Yes.
thoughts about that?
It looked pretty good. Beautiful detailing. We don't really know how it works because every time we went through, you could go into the queue, but you couldn't go into the play area. So I'm not exactly sure what goes on in there. I'm sorry to say. But
I would think it's playing. Playing probably goes on in there.
Actually, they put them to work. There were little looms that I could see. The kids were all weaving.
Oh,
so,
Clever.
That's how they make
They
those.
were weaving the towels to sell to the parents at the play area.
That's
Genius.
brilliant, actually.
Genius.
It's synergy. That's what Disney's all about. No, they were just, it was just a big play area with things they could climb and walk through and things like that. It was very well done. Again, just beautiful.
Well, Chris, we'd like to thank you for coming on. If you want to go ahead and take a second and tell us where we can find you, we know everythingwdisneyworld.com, Facebook, or...
I'm on Facebook. It's Facebook/everythingwdw, and I post pictures and other pithy comments every day about Disney World, not about my personal life.
There's nothing pithy to say about Walt Disney World ever. So make sure you head over to the Facebook page, and we'll put links up as well, and make sure you like it.
He's a nerd, he's a geek, but we all like to hear him speak. So listen up to the words from his speech. It's George's Book of the Week.
One Day at Disney was published in 1999 and is a singular look at 24 hours spent in the entire Disney theme park empire. 16 photographers spent 24 hours in the different parks and captured over 3,000 images. And this is a quote from the introduction. We begin our story at closing time, midnight, at Disneyland in California, when it is 3 o'clock in the morning in Florida, 9 o'clock in the morning in France, and 5 o'clock in the afternoon in Japan. The photographers took photos of everything. Children interacting with characters, cast members cleaning the empty and darkened parks, groundskeepers mowing golf courses in the early morning, guests rushing to attractions, and all of the parades and more. But surprisingly, they didn't show any bathrooms.
Weird.
Very weird. Well, my favorite photos by far were the ones taken behind the scenes. Some of them were of cast members painting trim pieces, cleaning and detailing animatronic figures, fixing costumes before a parade, or even just taking a short break. You really get a sense of the activity that takes place during the day at a Disney park and during the closed hours. One Day at Disney really makes you think about the entire operation of Disney theme parks worldwide. When you're watching the 3 o'clock parade in Florida, Disneyland Paris is closing at 9 p.m. Tokyo is starting the opening procedures at 5 a.m., and the Disneyland crowd is setting down for lunch. It is also a great armchair book for people that want to get a peek into the other parks, as well as a peek into some of the stuff that happens behind the scenes. When this book was released in 1999, we didn't have the age of digital photography that we have today. Books were one of the few places you could see stellar photography about the parks. My only criticism for the book is that the Walt Disney World photos are very hit or miss since there's so much geography to cover. But this is a great concept for a book, and it is one I would love to see Disney revisit. And in this case, the old adage rings true. The Disney empire on which the sun never sets.
Here's another minute that you can't get back. It's the 60-second review.
Well, everybody's been talking about the latest Disney Pixar film, Brave, and we thought, we've got to add our 2 cents and do our 60-second review.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, I laugh because it's always about 4 minutes long. Well, both of us had the opportunity to see it, separate theaters, separate states, so we didn't get to see the live reactions, but we're going to go ahead and give you what we thought about it. I was really, really excited about this film. Based on the concept art that I'd seen, I was really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that book you had, there were a lot of gorgeous pieces of artwork in that book.
Yeah, it really blew me away. You can't not look at that amazing red hair against that Scottish tableau and not think this is going to be stunning. We saw it at 1:30 on a Friday, and the theater was half full, which was, I thought, a fairly good sign. When we had seen The Avengers on opening day, there weren't many people there. But The film, I think we're both going to agree, is completely gorgeous.
It was stunning.
Yeah. The animation, it's at the point now where it's almost photorealistic. All the comments on the MiceChat review and that I've seen on Facebook were that people couldn't believe that the horse looked real and acted real. So that was an interesting point. Characters were still sort of that caricatured Pixar thing because otherwise it might look too creepy. I thought the acting was top-notch. All the character voice acting was phenomenal. I loved the story between Merida. I can't do Scottish.
I can't do Scottish. Don't even bother.
Yeah, and her mother, because I've got a teen of my own, so I could sort of see that interplay that they were doing and wanting to grow and hold on to their family. But it still wasn't enough for the whole story. It just wasn't enough to fuel it. Sort of the end middle section got real muddy for me, and it was kind of weird. And something I didn't think about till today, the witch wasn't really good or bad. She was aloof. And felt like she was only there because they needed magic for the story.
They needed a character for that exposition of the magic explanation, she was there, and she served her purpose, and she was gone.
Yeah, it was good, and it was she was a funny character, and you laughed at her, but it was just odd. I thought the myth and the fable of Mor'du was a great part of the tale, but it wasn't given enough attention. And honestly, my biggest complaint, I wanted more of the triplets.
They were funny when they were on screen. They were
awesome, great. And there just wasn't enough of them. So, Jeff, I've rambled. Let's hear what you think about it.
I didn't hate the movie, but I also didn't love it. I enjoyed it. I just thought, like you, I thought it could have been a lot more. It was absolutely gorgeous looking, and it was probably the most breathtaking scenery I've ever seen in a Pixar film. Okay. And there were a lot of times where I wouldn't be paying attention to anything else. They'd be talking, but I'd be looking at the background because it was so cool looking.
Yeah, I found myself looking at Merida's hair and wondering.
How distracting was that? It was ridiculous.
Fantastic, yeah.
They really upped their hair program since Monsters Incorporated.
That's right.
And Merida, I thought she was a very strong female lead. Mm-hmm. And she was a perfect character. She just wasn't given that much to do in the story. I mean, she had this quest. I won't ruin it for people who haven't seen it, but she had this quest to take on. But it just seemed like there was something missing from the rest of it. There was no really big antagonist of the story. The myth behind Mor'du was awesome, but I also felt that character was kind of underused, and he was thrown in kind of just to have some kind of opposing force building up and then used at the end. I thought he could have been used a little better.
Sure.
Like you said, also, the witch was a standout scene. For those who didn't catch it, that's where the Pizza Planet truck was. For like 2 seconds, I saw it. I was like, ooh, there it is. She was a great character, but she was gone, as soon as she served her purpose, which was kind of upsetting. My overall reaction was, it was good. At least it wasn't Cars. That's how I felt.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Everybody in my family seemed to like it. Most people really, the feedback's been really positive. Most people said it was great, but not their favorite film. But I'm telling you, the comment I saw over and over again and talking to other people that took young kids or had young kids in the audience, even though there was no big antagonist, Mor'du really wasn't an antagonist. He was big and monstrous. This is a giant bear we're talking about. Scary, frightening, and there were scenes that were really way too much for the under 5 set. There were parts where I was going, whoa, okay, what just happened? And there were, even in the showing we were at, there were a couple kids that left. Oh, I guess their parents took them.
It was a little intense at those parts. I can definitely see that.
Which was strange for, you think with a Disney Pixar film. But, I enjoyed it. I think everybody needs to see it because it is a gorgeous film. And it's a good summer film. I think everybody will like it.
I agree. So, see it, you'll definitely enjoy it. Again, could be a little more to it, but I still like it.
Sometimes you might see it, sometimes you don't. Hey, look, what's that? It's a 5-legged goat.
The Imagineers have been piling on a ton of fantastic 5-legged goats, especially in one of the newest areas of the Magic Kingdom, Storybook Circus.
Yeah, exactly. Especially the Casey Jr. Splash and Soak area. Each of the 4 cars has a 2-digit number on the back: 71, 82, 89, and 98.
And as any Disney enthusiast will know, these are the years that the Walt Disney World parks opened. And sadly, the car for the Animal Kingdom with 98 is still only a half-day car.
But it's got a lot of really intricate details that you can take some time to study and, just really appreciate there.
At least for half a day.
Well, probably a whole day because there's a lot to take in.
Thanks so much for watching.
Be sure to leave us a comment and rate us on iTunes.
Email us at communicoreweekly@gmail.com.
Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Communicore Weekly.
Follow us on Twitter. I'm at Imaginerding and he's at Jeff Heimbuck. I'm George.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're from MiceChat.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Communicore Weekly.
Brown chicken, brown cat.